Uh-oh. Is there feedback or is it just because the speakers on? Okay, so y'all have to let me know if there's feedback. 'Cause technically I added another window to this, which I probably should have just created a new one. I think I'm okay, hold on. You know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna do this. We're gonna go like that. We're gonna go like this, and, uh, do, 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 enter studio. Okay, so let's do it that way. Okay, so we'll do it like this. That way I can technically okay. Move okay, wait. Minimize. Okay. Uh-oh. Alright, let's remove this one and put this one up. There we go. Alright. Now we shouldn't have any alright, everyone should be seeing the live video. Why is this like this? Media presentation. I have no idea what's going on here. Why does this look all weird? Can y'all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Can everyone hear me? Because I don't know what's going on right now. Uh-oh. I wanna rock with you. But it does the is the feed small? Okay, maximize. There we go. All right. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, hello everybody. It's been a minute since I've done like these type ones, but I have to do this order. So I figured I'd come on, I'll do the order with you guys. If you are someone that is interested in doing shirts, if you know someone who may want to get into making shirts, whether it's summation, DTF, HTV, like they can ask like their questions on this particular live broadcast. But I'm going to process this order. So this particular one is DTF. And I will explain like, who all it's for and all that kind of good jazz. But hello, you can't see me. Hi, I am Shakia, the professor. My company is HS Inc. 365. We have a lot of things under that umbrella. We have Honestly Speaking, which is our summation paper and ink line. We have 365 Creative Academy, which is where we have dedicated classes, paid classes to teach a multitude of things such as designing and how to start your business, run a business, all that kind of good jazz. And then I have my customs business, which is HS Inc. 365 Prints. Then we have our HS Ink Designs, HS Ink Digital. So we have a lot like under that umbrella. We just kind of compartmentalize everything. And so this is an order basically for our HS Ink 365 print. This particular one is for a high school like organization that's about like economics and things of that nature. This is kind of sort of like charitable work, or when it comes to this particular order, we had them pay for their shirts, we had them pay for their own DTF prints, and I am basically doing the work part of it for free. That is our contribution, and tax things, being able to have that and giving back to the community with this. But it also is it's also a marketing strategy where it allows all of these kids are separate families that don't know anything about our business. So our tag will be on, our label will be on there. They'll know who did the shirts and things of that nature. So it now puts our business in the homes of others. So don't be afraid to do things without technically being compensated on the front end. Okay. But I'm going to just kind of go through these. I answer questions. I do my best to answer as many questions as possible. That works best for me. I don't know what you don't know. I'd rather give you the information that you actually need. By the time I kind of go through like this whole setup, that'll probably take like 5-10 minutes. Whether or not this is a session where there's a lot of information and content and context is up to you and how engaged you guys are. Like the video, share the video with others. Okay. All right. So with that being said, like I said, this is DTF. I have talked about DTF before, and there are some printers that print this piece right here. So let's talk about really what DTF is. So DTF is, I'm going to show you a screen print transfer. So they basically took DTG and mixed it with the screen print transfer method. So actually it's going to be under HS Ink Designs is what's going to go inside of the label. But this is a screen print transfer. So they take the screen printed, they take Plastisol ink, they put it on a transfer paper, and they put adhesion powder on here. So instead of putting the print directly on a shirt, where if you don't sell and things like that, like the shirt is a waste, you are able to do it on demand, like make shirts on demand when needed, and you're not wasting shirts. You can do full designs. So these are just my neck labels. But there's an adhesion powder. So DTG was direct to garment. You put it in like this big humongous printer, and you put a solution, you spray the pre-treat on there, and you print directly to it. And it has white ink. So like when you're putting it on color shirts. Well, this kind of is like that, where you're taking literally, it's like the same ink for DTG, DTF, using the same ink. And then, but it's just printed in reverse on a transfer sheet. And then adhesion powder is put on the back so that you're able to press it to different garments. So it was what they kind of did, the innovation with screen print transfers, and then combining screen print transfers with DTG technology to make a DTF. That makes sense? Direct to film. DTF is direct to film. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys and how this is like set up. So this is technically a 24-inch like print. This is pretty standard for most of the companies. But even though it's 24-inch media, you really only have like a 22-inch print space. I personally never, ever, ever go to the 22 because you never know, once you know companies, but if it's your first time, unless you're asking the questions, and some of them are not forthcoming with it on whether or not they actually have this, because I've ordered from companies that don't have this color band on it. I guess it depends on like their RIP software or like which printer they have. But if you go 22, it's going to be right up to this. And it's a little bit harder to separate it when it goes right up to this band of color. So I personally do 21 and a half. You can probably still do like 21 3/4 and still give yourself some room to be able to cut it. But I personally don't go to 22 inches. Okay. It's just going to make it a lot easier to not have to like be so careful when cutting this down. So I'm going to cut out the first couple of ones of this. I have 23 shirts, I think, to do, but I always order extra. This is something that I teach when it comes to running a shirt business, really a business, like just in general, how I teach my students that you, even when it comes to your pricing, you want to account for the extras because we are humans. Even if this was done with the machines malfunction. So you want to have, like, you want to account for that. So no matter what, I'm always going to order extras. And it is always worked into the cost. So I'm going to just do this one sheet at a time because that's how they printed it, because I set it up as a 1 yard sheet and they just printed it out that way. So we're just going to go down, cut this, put it on top. And this is the other thing of like giving yourself wiggle room too, where it's not everything's so close where you're always kind of going in and out. I know most people, because of the cost of DTF, they like to try and maximize the space and put as many things on there as possible. And I mean, yeah, you're going to get more bang for your buck, but it's also going to make the process a lot longer because then you have to be so careful with cutting things out. Whereas with this one, I have enough space in between. I'm going to go ahead and just cut through this, and it just makes my life a whole lot easier. I'm not selling transfers, with these, so I don't have to make sure that they're nice and like squared off because I'm just going to apply them to the shirts, okay? So we're going to do our first 6. That way, if you can't stick around for the whole thing and chit chat with me, you at least get to see the process, because after this is going to be pretty much the same thing over and over and over again, and that's going to get kind of boring, all right? So the shirts that's on top are mediums. When I'm doing mass orders like this, I do not make them like size for each individual shirt. So in these craft groups, you'll see things go around and they'll be like, oh, for a medium shirt, you're going to do this. For a small shirt, you're going to make it this size. And if you're doing a one-off, hey, go for it. But when I'm doing multiple shirts, there's no way in heck I'm going to try and figure out which decal or which transfer is for the small, medium. That makes the process so much longer. And this is where you start, as business owners or, as entrepreneurs, and you're starting out, you start to feel overwhelmed. You start to feel overworked because you are doing more work and you feel like you're not getting paid for that time because you yourself are putting more work on yourself and making the time a lot longer than it needs to be and it should be. I'm on HTV, but it's fine. All right, let's see where we're at for pressure. Let's add a little bit more pressure to that. All right, here we go. And I actually need to change that to DTF so that it gives me my pre-press to remove the moisture. Although actually my HTV one has it as well, but this is a 3-layer, so it's too many on here. So we're going to go to DTF prints and see, I just have 2. I have my pre-press and then I have my actual press, and then it goes back to the pre-press because I always do a secondary press just to seal it in and then kind of mattify the print. All right. So we have this here. We're going to take our transfer. I like to fold it in half so that I can find my center mark, just creasing it at the top and bottom. We're going to place this on the shirt, finding that center mark. Most people kind of do the whole finger thing. I don't. I go by the center of the shirt, like so center. I want to hit center mass with the design. So I'm going to take this and go like this, and that's, I was perfect. Spot on. I knew I wanted to hit like right in between that Miami-Dade County. So that actually is pretty spot on for the size of this design. And so if you want to do the fingers, this ended up being about 3 inches, 3 fingers of my fingers from the top where that sun is. All right. So technically, well, I'll just go ahead and press it. So that's 5 seconds, and I gotta go open the door in a second. Or actually, I was looking at that one, so I forget how many seconds that was. So now it'll flip. That's 6 seconds. This particular company that I got these from, this is a hot. Oh, wait a minute. It normally is a hot peel. Okay, I guess you're not hot peeling today, or that, or I didn't have enough pressure, or I probably didn't pull out the moisture enough. I'm gonna go let my niece in because that's kind of weird. I probably should have let it pull the moisture out. When it comes to DTF, you definitely want to let that moisture come out. If not, this will happen. We'll see with the next one if it was a moisture issue. Just close the door. I'm on live. Okay. So someone asks, what type of DTF printer are you using, please? I do not print DTF prints. I order them. I have no desire to actually own a DTF printer. Actually, one of my people who I do order from is on here, but these particular ones came from a company in Miami. I don't order online. I don't do like the Jiffy. We have too many great DTF printers here in Miami. These particular ones are from Urban. Is it Urban Miami or Urban Prints? Urban Prints Miami. But I also see my girl from I Love It Customs. They are in Boca Plantation, one of those. And so that's another company that I get DTF prints from. And I have no idea why this one is not sticking. This is why we order extra. What the heck is going on here? All right, let's see. I'm gonna let this one press for a little bit longer because I don't know why it's not sticking. I'm actually let this one completely cool, but normally his transfers are a hot peel, but it might be the moisture in these shirts. They're coming straight out of the box. So let's make sure that we properly pre-press this shirt to pull out the moisture. Hold on. What size shirt is this? Okay. This seems weird. Like it's not. Okay, no. Bottom of Miami-Dade. Bottom of Miami-Dade. All right, let's just see if it was a moisture issue. I have no idea what keeps happening to my internet. It keeps going in and out. Uh-oh, what is going on here? I am so not used to his transfers doing this. All right. I don't want to snatch it because all right. I'm going to press it again. But that was kind of interesting in how I had to get that off. I don't really like that right now because that's going to slow me up with if I have to do them all like that. But I do like when things like this happen because it teaches others how to not panic and like things that you can do if this happens to you. So I'm always about teaching moments. We are a learning institution, so of course I'm always about the teaching moments. And I always go back in and press it. And I stop it before it gets to the end. That way it doesn't come off the one. And it stays on that one. That way when I pre-press it, it's on the same thing. All right, so that one is done. Feel free to ask any questions you may have in regards to starting a business, starting these different print processes, designing. Now, we did not design this. This artwork was provided by the client. It is AI generated. Not always my favorite thing. We do have a disclaimer where, we send out basically where they have to acknowledge that they understand that their artwork is AI generated. So it's not high resolution. There may be some pixelation in the design based off of the artwork that they created. But we did not create the design ourselves. I personally set my designs up I set my gang sheets up in Silhouette Studio. My printer allows me to submit a PDF. Some you only can do PNGs, but mine's allow me to do PDFs because they're set up properly. And I save them in a way where when they open them up, it is still a transparent background. Here is another thing that you can do if you are brand new and you're not quite sure if your designs are centered. Fold your shirt in half. Make sure that the armpits are lined up. Make sure that the collar is lined up. Then go ahead and press it. That's going to give you a center line. And that looks weird. Hold on. Is that really the center? Because that looked a little off. When you're okay, no, that wasn't. I'm like, wait a minute now. That look, but always check it because baby, I'm like, that look off. That definitely was not given center. I've been doing this too long to where I know what center looks. Okay, maybe it's the way these shirts are made because I'm lining up the collar. I lined up the armpits. And this like off a little bit. But I've been doing this long enough to where I knew that was off as soon as I put it down. But this allows you to make sure that it's also centered because you're going to line it up with that center line. You can still do your fingers, or like I do, I just take my armpits. Armpits are normally the center of the chest, no matter what size it is. So I pull my armpits in so that I know it's center of chest. Hello, welcome, welcome. Why is this thing? I don't think my stand is locked. Oh yeah, I guess I need to ask him to text me. Did he change his to a cold peel? Alrighty, so I'm guessing these are going to be cold peel. So I'm going to press them all and then come back in and remove them because I'm guessing it's cold peel. That's too much pressure. Yeah, it's going to be a cold peel. So it's going to take me a little bit longer than I anticipated to get these done. Why is this shirt? And then that's the part that's kind of like weird. Sometimes these shirts are just cut differently. Like if I go down anymore, it's way too far down. If I come up, it's pushing it down. But as long as my armpits are in the same spot, like I'm okay. But that's just so weird. But even with this, like the tag is way off. But me looking at the collar, I know where center is. I'm just so used to eyeballing it. If you're just starting out, I do recommend using rulers because all shirts are different. All right, so mediums 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11. Okay, close that off because I need 11. See that this is not centered in any way, shape, or form. So never go off. Oh, you can't see that. Never go off the tag. The tag is not centered. Especially on this one, it is not centered in any way, shape, or form. So do not go off of the tag. I'm actually going to take all of the tags out of these. This is tearaway tag shirts, which, oh my God, that tearaway horrible. Because I am going to put in our tag. Yeah, that's so weird. All right, so I'm going to finish these off before I go to the next set and cut those out. I'm just going to come back to this. Now, normally I would use my hat press to put my labels inside of the shirt, but I'm going to use the heat press just so that I don't have to move the camera around too much. But I would normally use my hat press. I'm just going to use a pressing pillow for neck labels. Oh, I didn't realize all that junk was over there on that table. All right. Now, I could just take out this one and leave the one that has the cotton and the size, and then just put our neck label, which, where in the heck did they go? That's not what I'm looking for. Because I normally have to take the M and put it on there. But we're just going to put these. And that's why I want to remove that, because I'm going to remove it and put my M, because that is so not centered. So I'm going to do a couple of these this way, but I'm going to actually do all my neck labels afterwards on my hat press, because don't nobody have time for this. Ooh, that's hot. Oh, it's hot. Now, some people will use like the Cricut handheld press. No, you know what? Let's do it this way. To move you, pull you back, because something did not stick on this side. All right, there we go. And so there's a label. I would normally put the M. All right. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and wait for this part and just do. What is underneath here? And just go ahead and do them on my hat press afterwards, because It's bad enough that this is not hot peel and it's cold peel. So I'm having to bring it back to press. I don't want to have to deal with that when it comes to putting the labels on. Ooh. I saw something on there. I need do you have the mini iron? Oh, anybody using that? That takes up way too much time to go and use that and press that by hand. I do have one, but I just said that. Yeah, I would never use that. I mean, some people do use it. I mean, you can use it if you want, but the best thing for me to use is a hat press. Like whenever you're doing something like this, I have 23 of these to do. I am not going to ever do 23 of these by hand. It has to be something that I can close it automatic. It's going to give it the right pressure. Doing it with your hand, the pressure is like there's too many variables when it comes to pressure and doing it that way. So for me personally, I'm never using the handheld one. I mean, I've shown it in demonstrations to show people they can do it, but it's not something that I would actually do for an order. All right, so all of those are done. I'll do this one more time. Oh, that's why. This had ink on it. I was like, what the heck was that? Okay. Don't know how that got ink on it. So I don't have an actual DTF printer in house. I use two companies here in South Florida. These particular ones came from Urban Prints Miami, and I also use I Love It Customs, who they're in is it Pompano Plantation, but I Love It Custom. I use them as well. Oh, so there's that. Oh, I took the other one out, so I do have to add an M to this because, so to save on mine, when it came to it, I put what's the name, and this one I end up cutting it wrong. I don't, of course I always end up with extras of these because I have all the sizes on here, but I just cut out the size that I need. And I actually normally have them pre-cut and like on there already. So like while I'm watching TV, I will I thought I had one over here that had large on it. I will pre-make them with the size on it. And then I just press it one time. But this one I had to do it manually. Uh-oh. Why didn't you go? Maybe my collar's in the way. This is why I prefer to do this on the hat press. I don't have to worry about things being in the way. There we go. All right, so I'm going to prep the next set of them. I just wanted to go through that first 6. So if you can't stick around, ooh, yeah, we're able to see the full process. But now I'm going to cut out the majority of these just so I find my scissors. What time is it? Okay, 2:43. I have to text Even to see if he's going to get Ziny Mani. If not, I'll have to get off at 3 to go pick up Ziny Mani. cut down. Now let's get back to doing shirts. Like I said, this process is very redundant with doing the shirts. But if you have questions about starting a business, any of the printing processes, any of those things, feel free to ask. My primary business is 365 Creative Academy, so we don't mind teaching and sharing when we are live. Now, if I'm not live, can you just be inboxing me and asking questions without paying an invoice? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if I'm live and I'm saying, hey, ask your questions, run up the questions. Let me see. Yep, definitely cold today. So there are different types of release paper, because I think it's more so, it's not the adhesion powder. I think it's the release paper. Excuse me, it's the release paper. You have hot, warm, and cold. So ask your printer, whatever vendor you use, what type of paper do they have? Hot, warm, or cold? That way you will be prepared for how long your order. See, this is so weird. Okay, no, actually, no, that might be a little bit too far down. Okay, hold on. That may have been my fault because my collar was a little further down than it should be. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Any other questions? Hola, hola. Welcome in. To anyone that I did not say hello to yet, and you said hello to me. Hello, welcome in. Ooh, did I pre-press this? What number are you on? No, you're on 1. Which means I did not pre-press you. This is so weird. And that's a medium. It's like they're all cut differently. Look at how far down this is, like where the armpits are for this shirt. That is so weird. And it's still the same number of fingers down. It's just that this one is cut differently. And it's the same brand of shirt. Same exact brand of shirt. But the armpit on this is like it's way down there. But I'm still going to leave it here because I know better. I did not realize all that junk was over there. Jesus. I can feel the difference. Like that shirt, I think they must have run out. It says soft style, but this one definitely feels lighter than that one. I think some of these are soft style and some of these are soft style lightweight. And that's the thing that I don't like sometimes about Gildan shirts is how inconsistent they are. Like even looking at the collar, but like this is the, when you give them the option, it's like some people they don't want a shirt that's going to cost like $5-6 for, you know, a shirt. So like, like getting like a Bella Canvas or things like that. But Gildan is very inconsistent. I was having the same problem when I was making some shirts for my job. I kept using like a shirt ruler on everything because I thought I was losing my mind. No, they're just cut differently, especially brands like Gildan. So like that's what some people don't understand. Like when you choose a brand that costs a little bit more, they are typically a little bit more consistent with how they make their shirts. So if you look at some of the labels, sometimes they'll say different places. Some of them will say like China, Haiti, like India, like different places. Some they're not always made in the same place, so they're cut differently. The material is different. So it's not you. The shirts are just cut differently, even though they're the same company and the same brand. Like the same model, I mean, like the same style. Oh, wait, I didn't pre-press this because this is on a 1. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. It's because they're from different factories, even though they're the same brand, it's the same model number. But if they're made in different factories and sometimes just even made at different times by different people, there's going to be a lot of inconsistencies. And some brands have more inconsistencies than others. No, this is not Sublimation, Velvet, Savage. This is DTF. All right, that's all of the mediums. Nope, I have one more medium that I have to do. And I'm actually probably gonna have to do one more, which is why I order extras. I didn't realize that there was ink on my pressing pillow. So one of these shirts has some yellow on it. So I'm gonna remake that one. All right, hold on, y'all. Let me make a call. Or actually, me text. Okay. Had to see if he's able to get him. If not, I have to end this in 2 minutes. So get your questions in because when I have to end this in 2 minutes, I don't think I will come back. I'll just knock these out because it's like I said, it's much of the same. And you guys don't seem to have a lot of questions. So come on. See, it's like it's weird. This is perfectly squared, but the armpits are off by a whole lot. And when that happens, not much that you can do. About that. All right, question. When it comes to the pressure for the different transfers, which is summation DTF, what are your number ranges to set the dials to for those types of summation? I use absolutely no pressure whatsoever, like none. It's just even pressure on it. So mine is normally at like a 0 right before it goes to 1. Please hold. Okay. But yeah, so summation, I don't use any pressure really. DTF, you want heavy pressure. I think this is set to like a 7 right now or a 6 or something like that. So DTF, you want good, firm, heavy pressure. Sublimation, absolutely none. Really. You just want it to close and not move. Try and get these at least pulled before I try and rush off to go get him. show one more neck label before I leave. Now, where did my scissors go that fast? Huh? Where did my scissors go? Oh. And there's a medium shirt. All right, I gotta run to go get the little person. And if it's too much pressure for sublimation, does that can that cause ghosting? So too much pressure, if like on a shirt, depending on the type of shirt, it can cause the ink to push through the fibers, and that is how you will get ink inside your shirt. It's going to make the line of demarcation on your shirt a lot more harsh and noticeable and harder to pull out. It won't necessarily cause ghosting, unless like your paper releases and you're struggling to push it down. So like if you're like you pull it down and then like you're having a hard time pushing it, it can cause your paper to shift. So now that like if you have like instant release paper, because it's going to start to release that ink as soon as the heat hits it, it can like cause a shift because it might be shifting underneath there while you're trying to struggle to like pull it down. So that could cause some ghosting. But if you're able to like just go straight down, it's not going to really do that. But it's too much pressure. It will force the ink through. It can go all the way through the back. And you're going to have that really harsh line of demarcation. It's going to be hard to come out. So that's why you don't really want to have a whole lot of pressure. All right. Okay, so I got to run to go get the little one. Thank you guys so very much. If you have any questions, drop it on the as you're watching the replay, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.